Hi, this is Emma Einheber,
Bixler.
And Maura.
and today we will be presenting on our app AllergIN. Our app AllergIN is an allergen tracker that identifies allergens within foods and is catered for an individual's unique dietary needs.
Our original elevator pitch is for young adults who have food allergies. AllergIN is an app that identifies allergens by scanning pictures of food. Unlike Food Scanner, the product can detect allergens without barcodes or labels. Our app also explains complex ingredients that are difficult to understand. To narrow down our app's functions, we decided to not expand further within dietary needs to focus on just allergies, not simplify hard to read / understand ingredients, and not use multiple profiles. After further exploration, these proved to be more of a distraction to the main scanning and identifying features of our app. Our goal is to efficiently obtain allergen information from food products. We also found that our competition scanned only barcodes, but we took it a step further into the future by scanning food itself from an immediate or retrieved image.
For our matrices, we downloaded our competitor apps that were as similar to ours as possible because that would make it easier to find differences. We were able to determine strengths and weaknesses of the current allergen apps, and we thought about holes in the market and what we could do to fill them to create the best overall user experience. For our first matrix, we found that most of our apps had a premium version and other paywalls that significantly limited their features, and some were focused only on general health rather than allergens. For our second matrix, we found that a majority of the competing apps only scanned for common allergies, which was a hole in the market for individuals with rare allergies. And we also found that it was common for apps to either only scan barcodes or ingredient lists, and we wanted our app to have both. We wanted to push it a step further to include scanning food without packaging. We want our users to never feel uncertain about eating food that is out of its packaging, whether it's at a party or a cafeteria.
And for our third matrice, our competition emphasized their ingredient lists by using different text colors or actually highlighting the allergen. And with this, we wanted to also include this within our app to make identifying the allergen or allergens quick and easy. We did so by using the color red because the connotation of red is a symbol of warning and danger. Also, some apps included simplified language while others kept the traditional names of ingredients. After some thought, we ended up not incorporating this type of language. Though we want our users to understand what the ingredients are within the item scanned, we felt it would take away from our main idea, which is simply identifying allergens.
So, for our personas, we decided to focus on mainly a younger target audience as they'll be the ones that are mostly downloading apps to solve these types of problems. So, for our main target audience, we have the young adult, we have Amy. So there's so many new experiences and challenges that come with living on your own, and we wanted to simplify this aspect of being able to find safe food. So Amy wants quick and easy responses as she navigates living on her own. Next, we went even younger. We have Timmy, age 13, and he wants to be able to eat independently like other kids at school and not have his allergy of lactose be an inconvenience to him. We wanted him to be able to fully experience his childhood without this inconvenience, so we decided to create this app. We wanted to create an app that gives teenagers and young adults the ability to be aware of their allergies and navigate the process of finding safe foods easily and independently.
For our flowchart, our original was way too detailed. There were too many unnecessary features that distracted from the main purpose and concept of scanning and identifying allergens. Ultimately, too much time would have been spent on features that were not as important. We used the two main colors of our app to make our chart easier to read and have our main features stand out. Those aspects labeled in teal are select allergens, scan, and view ingredients. And from there in dark blue, we pivot around to show different familiar features like a saved, health services, settings, and scan history that users can also interact with to enhance the app's abilities after using the app's scanning function.
For our icon ideation, we thought about different icons that symbolize scanning, allergies, and general food, and we worked with those to create the best combination. After drawing 30 icons, it really forced us to think outside of the box, but we were drawn to peanuts, the chemical warning symbol with the exclamation point and a triangle, and plates, so we stuck with that for our first digital concept, which is the top left black and white one. We found that the plate was unrecognizable and had scale issues because it was too monoline, and the chemical symbol felt too inhumane and scientific, and it didn't really align with our young target audience. So we redirected our design by incorporating a peanut as an exclamation point, and that made the chemical symbol more informal and humane. And we also have a reference to the plate with the white circle behind the peanut, and the blue background is to match our app design.
So for our UI sketches, we wanted to have a modern, flat, and clean design, and make sure we found the most direct path to get to scanning as the main feature. On these paper prototypes, you can tell it's difficult to tell what is clickable, especially with the search bar being separate from the search button. But in our later prototypes, we worked to use color as a way to reinforce the signal and cue. So here we have our first set of UI sketches. We started with a light neutral color palette, but we found later that this lacked connection to allergies. We also had issues here with signal and cue and contrast, as well as having too many strokes and color inconsistencies. We also thought this looked a little too old school and not as modern and clean as we hoped, so we decided to change our color scheme for our final set of UI screens. So here we have our final screens. We changed the color palette to teal and dark blue because after research we found out that these were the colors that represented allergy awareness. For our signal and cue, we have everything that is teal is a clickable button, and everything that is dark blue or white is not. With this new simplified color palette, we continued to make consistent, intentional choices. So for the main function of our app, we added accents of green and red within the pop-up screen to differentiate if the item had allergens in it or not. We also experimented a lot with the placement of the buttons on the top bar to ensure that the touch target was large enough to use easily. For this set of screens, we created a layout that was simple to understand. It was not necessary to include all of the possible combinations as it would take away from the main function of our app, but for that identify your allergen screen, you are able to hit multiple. In our scan history and save screens, we created a series of drop-downs that allow for easy access to information after a completed scan, and we also got rid of boxes and bullet points. In this set of screens, as well as others, we made the entire bar clickable, as well as the button, to make sure that users can easily access the information they need. On the right, we added more visual elements to break up the text information in the form of pictures, as seen on the scan history screen. For our last set of final screens, we created a simplified and stylized map to ensure consistency with the rest of our design elements. And in our prototype is included, we have an interactive profile changing process which can be viewed and allows the user to change their name and their picture.
And lastly, here we have our live prototype, which can be accessed through scanning the QR code or copying the URL. Thank you for listening.